Welcome everyone back to the channel. I am Nuclear Death Ray, aka Knuckle Rar, as my typo unfortunately has made it. Before we get into today's video, I want to introduce a good friend and fellow top player who actually got me into Phobies. Goes by the name of Wozard. Say hi.
Hi, I'm Wizard. I'm another mentor on the official Phobies Discord, which I'm sure Nuclear will remember to link this time.
What do we have in store for today's video?
We have requested a game from the Mentoring Club that we're going to try to review in a little bit more in-depth analysis here, and can do what Nuclear did for the tournament on a little bit of a smaller level. If it's enjoyed, please let us know, and we'll try to make this a reoccurring segment, I guess, on this channel.
Yeah. I'm hoping that this can turn into a longer series where we, look at lots of people's games that they submit as a learning opportunity. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun talk. Look, we talk about phobies all the time. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun recording this. Hopefully, look, we're still new to this. Hopefully we don't like slap the table or anything when laughing. So, and blow your eardrums out. So, bear in mind, hopefully, again, we don't destroy your ears.
Please don't max your volume. This may be a mistake in advance. Thank you.
So, is there anything, as people are watching this game, that we should really be watching out for and looking out for?
I think we're going to be trying to focus on a couple things here. We want to be thinking about unit choice, optimal positioning, and I think key management in the end game are going to be the three main topics that we look for.
Okay. That's good to know. Then let's get started with it.
Both of our players are going to be starting with a snowball start here, I believe.
Okay.
Which is pretty standard on this map. Taking those top panic points early is a decent choice.
And it's like a very large map too, with panic points that are really far away. It does, make sense, to have high mobility phobies here.
Yeah. And having a striker like Snowball can be really nice to kind of lend those last hits when you need it.
I would like to say, plenty of experienced players will talk about Snowball being a mistake in the opening. This tends to be because it can't defend panic points very well. So actually, in my previous video, Alien Engineer opened with it might have been the exact same opening, I can't remember. But Snowball is really good when you're being aggressive, when you're like really trying to capture panic points fast and hit hard like once or twice. But if you're not trying to be aggressive, you do have the option to, instead of running your own Snowball, like you could maybe put a cassowary here, which is still fast. It can hit hard, but it's a little bit better at sustained combat than Snowball is. And cassowary defends these points just as well as Snowball would.
Yeah, it also prevents the enemy Snowball from doing something, which is, and if they do try to attempt that with the Snowball taking your top panic point, your cassowary on level will 1v1 their Snowball.
Yeah. It's also less expensive. If you trade cassowary for Snowball, that's a win.
Yep.
But anyway, I'm I don't know about you, but I think I'm fine with this opening.
Yeah, it's a pretty classic opening. I think a lot of people end up doing it. I think we play a pretty standard game for our first couple steps here. There's some panic point trading, some light overloading here by our hero. We'll get there in a moment. Just wait for these turns to finish up.
Yeah, so as I was skimming through this game, one thing that caught my attention pretty early on is our hero is about to run Puff. As I talk about it right now, look at that timing. I love this opening. Like, I do this all the time myself. Here, let's maybe let this run. There we go. I really, really love Puff. I like it early because there's a lot of trading in the middle for this point. And because Puff has this line attack, it means that particularly if your Puff is here, now you can threaten to move Puff here, or stay, which means any phobies in these lines get a good amount of chip damage.
Because lines only work on the exact parallel or perpendicular angles, diagonals, And you can't use slightly off angles. Like from where Puff is right now, it can't line attack through your Razor Mouth if another phobia was there. If Puff is a little bit situated a little higher on the point above it, here, you really want Puff here. This is Puff's. Whoops, wrote the wrong thing.
You're all good.
This is Puff's best spot right here, and it really does want to be in this tile. This tile here is okay to defend the middle, but it doesn't really create the pressure that I think that you really care about having from this tile.
Yeah.
And it makes a big difference not being there.
Yeah, and the other thing I do like about Puff long term is that plenty of people will play Hevo 2.0, Rambolina, other pushers, and threaten any ground phobies in these spots and just shove them into the abyss. Puff doesn't have that fear. So I do really like this opening again with the one caveat. Puff is a little bit better right there.
All right.
Let me erase that. Let's continue.
Resuming. A little unlucky for our hero here that his tickles can be two-tapped by a Ginseng, but it's just the way of the game. We move on to a...
Can I point something out here about the enemy's turn? What do you think about Snowball using its ability on the Razor Mouth?
I'm not a huge fan of it here because I think that it should mean that the Razor Mouth is able to take the top panic point without Snowball being able to really defend it, especially if Puff rotates up to help defend the Razor Mouth from the Snowball's attack, and they bring out a couple more units to help kind of support that high top end of the map with some.
Well, I just personally, I think if you're using Snowball and you aren't getting a kill, usually that's a mistake.
I think if you can hit and run with it, it's often okay. But I don't like running to hit something.
Yeah.
Especially most one keys where it's gonna take 2 hits either way.
Yeah, and Razor Mouth is built to take a panic point and die.
Yeah.
So I feel like this it wasn't super useful, I guess.
I can see how you'd want to do it though, to try to have your Snowball defend the top point here. But I think you can just rotate it. I think this is our first slight positioning mistake by our hero, is that they move their Puff directly behind this rock. You can kind of see a thought process here of going for a pull and looking to really get some hits on whatever attempts to defend this panic point. Either stepping forwards, Moffat, and pulling, and then summoning like a Murder Wing.
So you're saying like Moffat might go here and pull a phobia and that.
Looking like that.
Okay.
But I think our hero got a little wrapped up in their own strategy here, and they missed that Hevo now has free poke onto the Puff by just standing behind the wall, and is almost guaranteed to survive a pull and a hit, and then could hit 2 more times and with some other follow-up.
Yeah, I think the big deal is that Hevo isn't alone there too. Like it's very close to the vault, so the villain can summon more support. And so even if you do get that kill, it probably it's gonna be difficult to calculate your way through.
It's gonna be a long trading pattern where you don't really know who's gonna end up on top.
I'm curious what you think about Snowball started here. Snowball can actually capture this point for free.
Yes.
It doesn't even need to die. Because this Snowball has already used its ability. This is what I was talking about before. Snowball's not a great combat phobia, especially when it's used its ability. Yeah. So if we have a Snowball ending up there,
in that case, we definitely could have saved this Razor Mouth as well. Having Snowball take that top point with Razor Mouth supporting it.
Maybe
on the
Razor
other
Mouth
side.
Like here? Or
I'd say put Razor Mouth where the Snowball is currently.
Razor
there,
Mouth here, Snowball
and then
here.
Snowball there. And you can then have your Razor Mouth hit the Snowball if they try running into it.
We also know Puff started here. Puff can even get pretty active on the north side of the map here.
I would really like it in the spot here, personally. Because this way you can still fly back to the other spot you'd like to line attack from.
Sure.
And you can kind of keep your options open.
Yeah.
Obviously, someone could try to take the middle panic point with that, but you have a Moffat that you just pulled out that could also threaten to pull onto lava. And with other summons, I think you're in a good shape there.
I think too, this is a good time to point out with this map, the space that is really important to fight over is all of this northern side. And you know, the way I sort of think about that is like the most important space is near the heart, but the hearts are pretty close to our vaults here. So then it becomes like, where are all the panic points and how do you get to the heart?
Yeah.
And so like any space that's like south or underneath the heart is very easy to defend just because that's where all your phobies are summoned.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you control the north, then that means maybe you can kind of jump in like above the heart where it's a little bit harder. Again, there's an abyss here that makes it a little tricky.
Yeah.
So that's why kind of I was thinking about putting the puff up north, but I do like your idea of puff right here because again, it's a little bit more versatile.
I do also want to mention that this lower panic point here is a lot harder to attack. Oh, I need some help here.
You're good.
The lower panic point.
This one here?
No, the bottom panic point.
Bottom panic point, gotcha.
The bottom panic point is a lot harder to hold over long term because flyers from Vault can take that pretty easily.
Yeah.
It only takes a 2-2 1 like a 1 key 1 turn to reach it.
Yeah.
So it's not as like a long term of a hold as securing the top panic point is.
Yeah, true.
So I really do like focusing on the top side of this map.
Yeah.
It's where a lot of the momentum comes from, but we can keep going. It's a slight, some slight extra damage taken unnecessarily here. I get the idea, but we can also see here, our hero is slightly punished for their split focus on across the map here.
Yeah.
Where their units aren't tight together.
I like the villain's play here, though. I like the Hevo hit. I like taking the bottom panic point with Razor at the same time. And then I like dealing with the Razor Mouth and supporting with Cowbell up top. It's
a nice overload again. And we have our hero hits, puts Puff where it wants to be, and then kind of backs off after securing the Razor Mouth kill. Pokes onto the Snowball, which is really good because now Snowball's going to be 1 hit for the rest of the game.
This is actually an exception to the rule I was talking about earlier, where it doesn't get a kill, but like Snowball's not really that helpful right now, and that will
come in handy. Our hero's unable to stop this Cowbell from retaking the top point.
And then we have Piscetti.
Well,
actually, before we talk about that, what do you think about the Ray Charles summon?
Ray Charles, I like flyers on this map a lot, and I'm down to summon a flyer. It's a little early with
but there's two mechs. There's both Hevo and Bo.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. Especially because I know Rambolina and 2.0 are famous for appearing on this map, and this may help scare them off, or even prevent them from really coming into the game at all.
Sure.
I think it's a good spot to be in for our hero. I'm not a huge fan of the Piscetti summon from the villain.
You just did air quotes. Just I want you to know that.
But I'm satisfied. I think that losing the top pressure and kind of mixing has kind of forced our hero into a very defensive position here, as they are a little bit overwhelmed as the opponent has the max number of units on board now.
Sure. Yeah, and I guess we'll talk about, because our villain is going to be summoning another disease phobia later, so we'll be talking more in depth about like what do we do about disease. I can't remember what
it
does next.
Yeah. I think I remember. I think our hero summons a Temptress here. With their I think this is a little bit of an overcommit from our hero. We have now invested a lot of keys into electricals here.
We've invested actually more keys. We have 9 keys, and the opponent only has 8 keys of electricals.
Yeah.
Or mechanicals out, yeah.
And a lot of the power budget of FOB goes into this damage stat. This is a crazy damage stat to have. A 700 hit is 750 for Ray, actually.
Well, level 1.
Level 1 is 750. Yeah. And it matters a lot. But that also means that if Ray isn't hitting with electrical damage, then
it's going to suffer a little bit.
It's going to suffer a lot, I think.
And in particular, Temptress has a pretty bad non-electrical. It's not even that great with electrical damage, but it's particularly pretty bad against phobies that aren't mechs.
Yes. And I think this was a slight overcommit with so many keys into electrical units in particular. I also maybe would have liked to see our puff. I understand moving our puff off the center to keep it away from the Paschetti, um, and avoiding the disease here. But the same issue is that obviously the ray could be diseased at this point too. Is the risk that we're running?
Sure. Well, I guess this is a decent time. In general terms, what like if you see a phobia like Paschetti, which has this reach, like it can hit this area.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not even right. It can hit this area with its disease. Is it bad if I place my puff here?
I think it really depends on what other things can happen during the push.
Okay.
If it's going in and it's going a 6-for-6 trade just to get this disease onto you, that's probably in general a good trade
for me with the puff.
Yeah, for the puff. If your puff will be alive and active for a couple more turns while it ticks down from disease, and if you have traded away the disease, the 6-key Paschetti, then you are up effectively 6 keys temporarily. And obviously this is a big deal because your puff is a large amount of power that you have on the board then that your opponent does not have. And you can use the puff as a sacrifice or to kind of attack and try to get as much value out of it as you can.
Yeah, like theoretically you only need to get one more key of value out of that puff to be a positive trade.
Yeah.
And that, Paschetti, Smiley, Foul, a lot of these phobies, I think it can be a trap to play too scared to not get diseased, when sometimes it's totally okay to let more value than you might think get diseased because you have that dynamic advantage to spend right away.
Yeah. Just make sure that as long as you do that, you can trade away the unit that does disease you. If they get away and they can disease another phobia, then obviously that's a big issue.
Totally true.
All right, so resuming the game once again. I believe our villain rotates around to the top here, takes some more panic points. We are looking at a 3 panic point deficit here, which is a lot of damage to be taking per turn to the heart.
That can happen on this map, though.
It does happen.
I definitely, going into this turn, I would like to see our hero take a panic point back. Although, actually, never mind. They have a kill in the Hevo. Yeah. That's even better.
A kill is almost always as good.
So this is good. This is like getting the kill on the Hevo is nice. You also get the chip damage on the bow.
Yeah. I really like a Noxious Summon here.
Agreed.
I like the threat it has, especially with bow being their only remaining mech, not counting Cowbell. And Paschetti and Snowball both being dimensionals.
I'm curious. First of all, did Snowball have ability up? I think it might have.
Yes.
I wonder if it would have been better instead of Puff lining through this way if Puff had gone this way, because that would have like if Puff lands here, you might be able to get. I don't know the specific numbers. What is Henrietta right now? Oh, I have to click play. Henrietta is 982. That's like 650 plus. Yeah, so that would kill. So a snowball attack here plus a puff line would have gotten the Henrietta as well.
Yes.
Which would have been more to protect the Muffet.
Yeah, because Muffet's going to suffer probably 2 hits from Henrietta here. And although Henrietta doesn't do that much damage, 2 hits and the poison is going to add up, especially with lava.
Well, and it's also it's just killing a key. Like I think it's more worth it to kill a key than it is to get some chip damage.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But I think it's worth pointing out it was a good spot. I didn't even spot it right away to kill the Hevo. Yeah. So finding that Muffet kill or using the Muffet to pull on the lava again. This is actually another great opportunity.
Actually, it would have been really hard to protect your Puff from the counterattack going over the top here. Over the top, which is why we both really like covering the top because it's so hard to reach that area.
Yeah, true.
And you can really see the dynamic there where if Paschetti and Snowball and
well, let's say, for example, let's keep following that train of thought. We got Puff here, we got Snowball here. our Noxious does not have to go to the bottom. Our Noxious can come there.
Yeah, that's a
That
much
means that
stronger.
if anything like Ginsting and Cowbell and Snowball come up, that means Noxious can come and get that
That nice little
shot.
AoE, yeah, which would be super efficient against that set of phobies over
Yeah.
there. Applying disease to even or poison to even two of those is
Hmm.
a big hit. Um,
Interesting.
and that obviously would have been a long line that would have to be explored later, but we won't
Yeah.
go down that now.
But the point is like I hope that's instructive that like how did we land at that, right? It's
Mhm.
Puff can get a kill. Oh, but then Puff is exposed. So then how do we protect that?
Yeah.
And hopefully that style of thinking is something you
Our
can
hero
implement.
does retake a panic point here, which I would like to say is
Yeah,
nice.
that's true.
So
That's true.
it really depends on how much each person, what you value is in that
Mm,
situation. I
sure.
think, I know I like taking heart damage. I don't really.
you're you're super greedy about that. I've seen you
Yeah,
save so many keys just to like
yeah. I like my big unit, so I know I take way more heart damage than I probably should. But that's the trick. There is you can try to trade another trade a little bit more heart damage for another key. Is what you
Hmm,
was maybe on the table here.
sure.
Um,
I'm gonna keep playing if that's okay.
yes,
Yeah.
we'll resume again. Probably have to stop again for this counter engage because
It's getting complicated
this
for
gets
sure.
very complicated here, and this is a tough turn to really break down.
Yeah. So I mean, the general idea of what our villain is doing is something that I actually think they do pretty well, which is use the north. Because again, we've talked about like
Mhm.
it's hard to get a phobie up to the north very quickly,
Yes.
and so this setup at the top is kind of scary.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's very scary. It's really hard to get anything up there to fight it because now he's our villain is holding the position up there. Um,
So what are your thoughts on what to do here?
I think let's show what our hero does, and
Oh,
then we
sure.
can talk about
Sure.
how we think we could maybe optimize some of the positioning here. We go for a poison, and it looks like our hero is going to go for a kill on the Sketty here. Um, and it's a lot of organizational details here, but lands the poison, kills.
I think it kills Henrietta and
Yes.
the Sketty, right?
I believe you're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both.
There's the lava, and then the Temptress finish off. And that is every action, and then we have summons.
No, I think they're locked.
No. Are we locked? We
Yeah,
are
it should
locked.
be
All right, that's on me. I apologize.
Okay. Actually, let's make sure we go back.
You want to see the trade back here in exchange, or should we?
Yeah. Let's look at it.
I think this will seeing the trade back will show what ends up being wrong here. This is a
Yeah,
different.
actually, I think the enemy the villain has better than what they showed, in my opinion, or than what they did.
I was not able to follow too much here.
Well, so for example,
I think
like, well, we can see what they did. Like, they end up getting a pretty solid. Like, I guess let's finish it out.
Mhm.
Okay. So, is that it?
Yeah, that should be end of turn.
Okay. So first of all, this looks. I mean, poison here is kind of tough.
Mhm.
The snowball died. The
Mhm.
razor mouth took a lot of damage. Puff took more damage. This seems like a pretty tough position.
Yeah.
But I think the villain. So they used their ginsting. Oh, Muffet also died, right?
Yes.
They used their ginsting to kill this. I actually think they could have used either Snowball or Cowbell to take that dimensional damage, keep Ginsting away and healthy.
Mhm.
And I think that might have been a little bit stronger. But
Yeah.
either way, now that we know that that's what happened, I'm curious because Wizard, you've had a look at what you think. Some thoughts. How do we
Yeah.
do better here?
So I think a big thing to remember here is that Pescetti is a melee unit, and killing it as long as you aren't in melee means it has to move and then hit you. It's scary if it can retreat and get that cooldown back up, but I think we can kind of eliminate more phobies around it without having to and probably get a better key trade without and protect ourselves a little better here. So if we have to start have Muppet run up and poison the Ginsting, I like that idea a lot.
Why do you like that idea?
It ends up just being your Muppet's gonna die in a turn anyways. It's good just to poison a unit.
Because it does a lot of poison
a
damage.
lot of poison
okay,
damage.
Sure.
And we might as well get like some good poison in there anyways. I think that we can also poison the Biscotti already. So we don't need to focus on poisoning the dimensional unit.
So you're saying we can poison the Biscotti with Noxious, maybe
Noxious.
flying like here.
Yeah. So in order to do
get
that,
that hit
we would
off.
need to move Ray. Let's try to keep Ray fighting. So put it on the same point he did, and then let's killing Cowbell. It's a free kill, 1 key.
Sure.
We saw in our heroes next turn that Cowbell hit twice, and
Yeah,
those hits add up.
Yeah.
And now that Cowbell's gone and out of the way, Snowball can step into Cowbell's space. And take out the enemy Snowball.
Snowball can go here and hit there. Does it have to hit with? Yeah, it has to hit with its fire attack.
With fire attack. But it will get pulled onto its own lava. It'll take a little bit of chip damage, but it will be alive and within melee range if it needs to continue fighting.
Exactly. That's a good point.
And then
we've got Snowball here. We've got Ray Chargels here. We talked about Noxious running here to get that poison off.
Yeah. And we know that the Henrietta here, it's fine to get a trade-off for it, I think, here, going 1 for 1. We could put our, and it's just going to take the same number of hits as before. It's either a hit from...
Maybe Cowbell, and then what are we doing with our Puff?
I think I'd like to get Puff up and into the fight here. So
maybe
putting
like here?
Yeah, Puff there, and then... I didn't look...
Either way?
Poke either way. And then Temptress can take the last hit for the Henrietta.
So, okay, in total, we have a position that looks like this, where we've killed this, we've poisoned this guy, we've poisoned this guy, we've killed the Snowball and the Cowbell, and there's definitely going to be some trade back, which we can go through if we really want.
I'm going to correct myself there. If
go
we
ahead.
go back very slightly here.
So, Ray Chargels moves up, kills the Cowbell. Snowball moves here, kills the Snowball.
Yeah. I think if we leave our Puff where it currently is, Temptress can't fight immediately, but if it runs behind the Ray...
Oh yeah, just take
Sorry, I'm going to put it... Sorry. We can get a... I don't know.
Yeah, that's the right
one. Muffet here. And then a... if we leave Puff here, it can hit twice, and we can put Temptress around back here, I think, actually. So Puff can hit once here, once here.
Once there, cool.
And this way, it makes it so Muffet, even at low HP, will body block a shot here.
And it takes a shot to kill, sure.
It does guarantee that it needs 1 more hit to kill this Muffet. So he could, the villain could trade him Muffet here and fall back, kill Snowball and fall back. But this keeps the team a little safer, I believe. It doesn't let Ginsting AoE to kill something and chip additionally.
Sure.
But that might require a little bit more calculation there on that angle.
Yeah, well, so I think I want to point out a couple things too. When we end with Noxious, Cowbell, all this stuff, this means that our enemy Noxious can't get a big, poison in that area. The other thing that I think is the whole reason why we can sometimes get away with poisoning the Biscotti and the Ginsting here is that they're so far away from spawn.
Yes.
Like, it's very hard to get back and get healed in time. I kind of want to talk about my first thought when I saw Moffat here with very low HP, poisoned, already got its ability off. I think, okay, wow, we can save our 5 keys. We can move Muffet back and pull out Muffin Top and heal it.
Yeah.
I still like your idea. I like putting Ray Chargels. I like destroying that, getting the kill on the Snowball, and using Noxious to poison, and several similar ideas there.
Yeah.
And maybe even, I'm not sure, is there a kill on this 2500 HP?
The kill's only there with the way our hero did it. With
if we use
large commit.
Do we have to use? Yeah, okay.
I think so. Yeah, it was.
This is about 1,000 damage from the Puff, and then what the Noxious has an additional 400, so we're at 1,400. Yeah, maybe that's not total. I mean,
it's a
plus 470, so then you have to get another hit.
Biscotti's very tanky. It's hard to really chunk through that.
What about how about this? Ray Chargels comes here, kills the Cowbell.
Yep.
Snowball moves here and does the damage on the Piscetti. Puff hits twice. Noxious moves up, hits once. I think Cowbell can hit. We don't really need it. Muffet can move back. Actually, can hit once and then move back. In which case, we have a Muffin top to heal them up.
Yeah,
Muffet.
and then that leaves our Temptress open with
So
actions.
we've killed Henrietta. I think we've killed Biscotti. We've killed Cowbell, and these are the only two guys left alive. That is a mess.
Yeah, let's do some quick math here. If we go into if you mind checking the
key is that Piscetti needs to die.
Yeah.
So it's 2459 minus 235.
Yep, from lava, and then we have
minus 478 or 474.
Yep. Ignore
minus
fire.
462.
And Puff has the higher fire damage.
Yes.
Okay.
462 minus 462.
Minus 154.
Minus 154, and then Ray Chargels does 5.
Ray Chargels hit the cowbell.
Oh, right.
Here.
And we have this doing 435. So it's left with 237.
And
so maybe we can even hit with.
I don't like putting Temptress up there because then we open ourselves up to that noxious AOE.
Okay.
And that's a lot of value that we're giving to our opponent.
Okay. Well, either way, I think there's probably a play. This is async. You have some time to go over it. There's probably a play where we can retreat our Muffet, heal it, get the kill on the Biscotti, and I think things should be okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably also no, never mind. That uses too many slots.
Yeah. So as we had it, we ended up here. We can see the trade.
Yeah, I think this is it's a solid move. It's a good 6 keys back. Gets good value out of the poison. It works. I think you can optimize a little bit more with the way we did it, but it's
complicated. You can tell we just spent I don't even know how long we spent calculating that out.
A while.
But hopefully again, like I'm hoping that this is interesting due to like how we're trying to think about it rather than exactly what we're doing.
And a lot of it comes down to making sure the damage that you do is safe. Giving up free damage and getting hit for free is very, very bad.
And by the way, if anything is confusing, if we're talking in ways that are, hard to understand, drop a comment, let us know. We want this to be as informative as possible. So
yeah.
This is the first time we're doing it. Hope to do more. So
also feel free to ping us in the Discord.
Yeah, absolutely. So how does our hero come back from this?
Our hero, while they don't end up winning this game, as we have to follow the normal rules for flying and mentoring game, does do another move here that I want to talk about for a moment. I lost the.
I'll get it. I don't know where the mouse is. Yeah, here it is.
All right.
Well, let's let it.
Let's let it play out here. That's turn. All right.
So that is the end of that turn. Cool.
Our hero, I think, is very worried about their hurt here. They're trying to make sure that they don't take the 3 penny points worth of damage that they were initially taking at the initial turn. And I understand it. 3 penny points is a lot and adds up really quickly. But putting the Noxious on this point ends up being a free kill. And this is a lot of keys to invest in taking back 1 panic point. Especially when you can just play a little slower. You don't need to be using a Noxious take back. You can just summon a 1 key to take something back. This Noxious is very healable by going back to get Cupcake or Muffin Top. I wish Cupcake. Muffin Top healed. And with the other units here, you can find value in other ways. As you were saying, we can now see the Piscetti for Puff. This Puff has 3 turns to its name.
Yeah.
Where it will have value that the Piscetti won't.
Yep.
So if it comes down to it, the Puff could be used to take this middle point and poke as like a last gasp.
Sure.
Especially with a good line here. The middle, as we saw earlier, has some great lines here and here to make it just a little bit more awkward.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I I think the way our hero handled the top was great. This is a great job. I mean, you get all the kills. Um, Ray Charles is going to be chipped down a lot, but like that's okay.
That's a lot. That's what it is.
I think, do you end up healing? Yeah, you end up healing Puff here.
Not this turn.
Or not this turn. Interesting.
Um, I think another thing.
So if we're not going to be healing Puff, why are we not taking the top point with Puff?
That's true. Yeah, that's we could be reducing the
Oh
damage.
no, Puff hit once. That's why.
You're right.
Right.
I would mention our hero could keep playing here, and we spent all of our keys here, which is a huge investment because now our opponent gets 7 keys to choose however they want to beat this current team. And having that last choice is always strong. Additionally, I'd like to say
well, so let's
right.
keep going through this. This is something I care a lot about personally. Action economy, as in the number of actions your team has, which is normally 2 per phobie. Is very, very important in endgames. So like frequently you can be down in keys, but if you have 7 phobies to your opponent's 4, you may have an advantage.
Yes.
So in this case, Muffet's going to sacrifice itself. Noxious is going to die, and Clinico's not that good of a fighter. So you really have 4 phobies that can fight with Puff on a timer.
Yeah. So I think an example of something else you could have done here is if Noxious doesn't take this middle panic point, goes back, gets itself healed
by the Muffin Top. Sure.
A Ginsting could be pulled here, and then another 1 key could be pulled. And this way you have 2 more fighters, or 3 if you include the Noxious. 3 more fighters in this endgame that are all fresh, healed, and ready to go.
Yeah.
With your Noxious having its cooldown coming up next turn.
True. That's another really good point. So if Noxious, where did it start? Somewhere on the bottom here?
It started on the wall.
It started on the wall here, right? Yeah, so Noxious can even move back. Muffin Top goes, heals, and then Noxious can like sit right here. So that means it's up, it's ready to jump in and hit anything around here. Yeah, that's a way to apply more threat.
Yeah, it's a lot of danger, especially when your opponent has 7 keys that they're going to need to summon things from. But we could even have left 4 keys in the vault, because we have, I'd say, the advantage on the map now.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And with 4 keys in the vault, we can try to counterpick our opponent as well.
Sure.
So we can pull out the 1 key that we're going to need to recapture the middle.
Yeah.
Pull out the Clinico if we really want to heal our phobies up, because a lot of them are chipped down. And
sure. Yeah, I don't mind bringing out healers here. I think I agree. It's blundering the Noxious away is not good, and the action economy.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Actually, the villain makes the same mistake. The villain here is going to summon Foul with all of their 7 keys.
And that's a really big loss of tempo, because now what could have been a large
7-4 advantage, 7-5.
Yeah, I mean, especially if they invested in phobies that were say like high key, slow value, like other turrets could have been really strong here into this team count.
Or even sometimes when people are struggling with action economy, you can run resurrect phobies. So like Daisy would be phenomenal here.
Yeah, it's Daisy, because every takes an extra step to kill.
Sure.
Very, very expensive to deal with.
But again, so clearly it looks like our hero likes, or a villain likes disease.
Yeah.
And they saw that's like kind of worked and they want to do more. So how does our hero respond to this? So they heal the Temptress, great.
Heal the Puff. Try to keep it alive for 3 more turns. Take a panic point. And Puff's gonna get another round of poking with a line attack.
Yeah. That's where we talked about before. Puff is not dead. Puff just did another 1,000 damage from that 1 turn alone.
Here comes another line from our hero. This is a little bit of a risk here with Goon shooting this line, because it does offer itself up to this Foul, disease, and retreat.
And the Foul leeches a little bit, not a ton, but a little bit,
just a tiny amount for the initial hit. It doesn't leech from the disease itself, just the hit from the disease. And we see I'm not sure what we see next here.
Well, you can keep going, but like actually, can you pause for just a second?
Pause again.
The way you handled or the way our hero handled the Boschetti, I think, is the same type of thing you want to do with the foul. Like, I think I agree with Wozard here that, like, this line maybe is not worth it, and instead shift to the north with your goon. Like, put your goon, like, right here, and say, like, in order to disease something, it has to jump in, and then you can jump back up out on that. Takes a little bit of calculation to make sure you can actually get the kill, but I think it's a little bit more worth it to like counter to jump on to the foul in order to get the disease, whereas this time like the foul can hit and back up and it's alive.
Well, we can keep playing here.
Keep going.
I can talk a little bit more about positioning on this next move from the villain here, as they kind of reset a little bit here and disease the goon and are trying to play a little bit more time. They got their noxious cooldown coming off cooldown next turn, so they're playing for the noxious cooldown. They know they're going to be able to have foul up again in a turn, and they can just. I think this looks like their plan is to try to poison disease, and just bleed out our hero through time at this initial moment, or the way they fall off.
Let's see how.
I do think they could optimize this turn a little bit more. No, never mind.
Where did Bo start?
Bo was one higher here, but I think if Bo steps down to hit Goon, then the puff will finish off the bow.
Finish off the bow, sure.
So the bow steps down to protect the foul, make sure the foul's still, even if Goon tries to fight it 1v1, they can trade the Goon out together.
Sure, that makes sense.
And we're gonna keep moving on then. This is starting to get to the end game, which I know.
Yeah, I have some thoughts about how our hero plays this end game, and I'll talk about it more later. I do think they have probably an advantage in this end game.
I'd like to add here. I'm gonna pause really quickly that we are once again giving this top area to the opponent, which is really strong, and we can no longer threaten over. As well as this fallback turn, while trying to deny the noxious. Its AoE is dealing damage to our team. And we're sacrificing a lot of HP for this one turn of
so
reset.
maybe something I would have liked to see instead. I know the Ray Chargles is low enough that it dies to an AoE, but the Temptress isn't, right? The Temptress is at 1560. So if you put your Temptress here, or if a hero puts their Temptress here, Clinico can be wherever it wants as long as it's within range to heal the Temptress.
Is our Clinico cooldown? How's our Clinico cooldown?
I believe it's up, right? Oh no, it's not up. But maybe one more turn.
Yeah. So end of this turn it would be up. Or end of
next turn. End of next turn it would be up.
Okay.
I don't think you necessarily have to be so afraid if the Temptress is going to get hit with poison because it'll get healed. Like that's the whole reason you have a Clinico out. And you're giving up a lot of space in the north.
Yeah, I think the Clinico is being used a lot to keep the puff in the game, as it can counteract the disease over the next couple turns.
That's fair.
It's just a large key investment.
But I would take personally. I would take if you told me we can trade the puff for the noxious 1-for-1 and just pick them off. I would be okay with that.
Yeah, you really like playing up with your action economy.
Yeah, and puff is already diseased and it's already low, and like that's I think that plays into our hands here.
Our heroes looks like they're gonna start trying to rotate through and really play through this bottom. Playing through the bottom in the end game gets a lot more reasonable once the vaults.
Yeah, because there's no keys to spend in the vault.
Keys. And this goon is threatening a lot of really good lines here.
The goon and the puff together in particular, and the ray, like all of it together means that there's some good.
And we notice here that the two teams are mirroring each other on this map, to both try to control the middle space, we'll say.
I think the enemy probably gives up a little bit too much space. I think Bo is maybe better if it were here. But these are small potatoes. This is a great move, by the way. I really love this move from our hero. Heal that puff, keep it alive.
And we are now fully in a heart rush scenario where both teams are circling to get to the heart as fast as they can, and blitz it down.
So let's have a look. 5,000, 6,000. It looks like it's going to be close.
It looks like it's going to be really close.
The thing that you have, or that our hero has for there, to their advantage is 4 ranged phobies, whereas our enemy has 1 ranged phobie.
Yeah. I would like to say that the melee of Noxious gets to sit over the abyss,
So
it still doesn't.
our enemy gets to put 2 phobies to hit consistently, and our hero gets to put 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even well, I guess the Clinico is not going to do that much damage, but I'll talk about how we can use the Clinico in this endgame later.
Yeah, I'll let you lead this.
Yeah, so I mean the enemy just goes in. Pretty scary. I think it's actually going to be worthwhile to show how our
we can
show how our hero plays this.
We
because
can
I
show
think this is almost perfect, but it ends up losing.
It's a good race here. Very good race.
So Goon's gonna die this turn, so that's why Goon is running away there.
Trying to make sure it opens the space up for other phobies to get in. Clinico's going to try to kill
and next turn it will kill the baby snaky.
The baby snaky. Trying to bait it into doing.
Actually, let's pause. I mean, we're at 4,500. So if you look at it, that's 1,200 damage. That's 1,500 damage. So this does kill in 2 turns. So just keep that in mind. That means that our hero has to kill this next turn if they want to win. So I mean, this is all standard, and we'll see our hero gets to hit 2 times with each of their 3 phobies, and we'll see how close we get to killing the heart. And we are at 930. So off the bat, I think this is a simple enough just calculate the damage, put it in a calculator literally to see, do I have the damage to kill?
Yeah.
And if you do have the damage to kill the heart, you've won, right? And if you don't, you have to keep looking. So this becomes a little bit of a math problem, like a little bit of a puzzle. This turn, remember, we got to kill the heart in 2 turns. We got this turn, and we got next turn. So the first thing I think that our hero did is quite good. Use that rate charge rolls. It only takes 1 hit. It does that extra 544 damage anyway to kill the bow. That's fabulous because that means there's no more defenders there. The Goon hitting the heart, I think, is fine too. You can even run it in front of the heart. It doesn't really matter, whatever. But let's think about how we can use Puff to its most useful. Our hero gets 3 hits from the Puff. 1 this turn, and then 2 next turn, for a total of 460, or I guess 500 plus 460 plus 460. If instead Puff goes here, that collects a panic point. So that's not just 235 damage for your panic point, it also takes a panic point away from your opponent. So that's 470 this turn, then at the end of your opponent's turn, and then at the end of your next turn.
Yes.
So that, I think, actually is very similar. But what it does do, and this is pretty important, is it occupies the foul.
Because the foul now has to kill the Puff. And once the foul is forced to take action to kill the Puff, it opens up your Clinico.
Or even let's not even get there, but we're going to talk about Clinico in a second. Foul, like, you used Clinico to defend and it was able to kill the baby snaky, but your opponent was able to get the final kill because Foul was over here and Foul was able to run up and hit.
Yeah.
But if instead Foul had to run back and then hit your Puff to kill it, it's no longer there to attack your heart.
Yeah.
So, like, already you've occupied another defender with that Puff, because otherwise, again, your Puff just gets to hit twice next turn. So you lose 1 attack from your Puff, but you gain 470 plus 470 plus 470 damage just from that 1 movement.
Yes.
The other thing that Wozard was getting to, which I think is important here, Clinico is probably more useful not as a defender, because you're going to die in 2 turns anyway. It's probably more useful to go to the middle. Step on that panic point. Now you're threatening to take this panic point or this panic point next turn.
And both of those add another
another
470
470.
damage.
And so if we think about all that damage, that should add up to kill the heart.
Yes.
And you've killed it next turn before these two even gets a hit at all.
I would like to point out also that when you put the Clinico and the Puff on the point, you've overloaded this foul once again, where it has to choose which unit it wants to fight. It should almost always choose this Puff, because the Puff is going to hit the heart 2 times. So it has killing the Puff is forced. It doesn't really have a choice in what it needs to do, which means the Clinico then becomes unstoppable at taking that top point. Nothing can
Clinico
body block it.
Here. Boom.
And it's just a free panic point.
And so that taken together is, I think would be a winning play. So just like to keep in mind, sometimes it's more damage over time to capture a panic point. And again, the math is tricky. You're not just getting 235, you're getting 470 because you get an extra panic point and your opponent loses 1.
Yeah. The additional benefit there also is that panic points tick both on your turn and the opponent's turn.
Yeah.
So the tick on both turns really adds up quickly.
Yeah.
Obviously, this could be much more dynamic because the enemy may have to send their baby snake to start taking panic points, and you might have to start trading. Yeah. And it gets into its whole.
But even from the basics, like the heart has 4,500 HP. It takes 8 hits. To kill it.
Yes.
Or it takes 1,200 plus another 1,500 is 2,700. Another 1,200 is 39. So like it takes multiple hits from both. On multiple turns in order to kill this heart. So the more you can like force the baby snakey, for example, to move, the better that is for you.
Yes. Completely agree. But this was a very fun game to watch.
Yeah, super fun game. It was a great submission. Super dynamic, really interesting phobies to talk about. Plus, I like having the opportunity to just yap about this game.
So thank you once again, Shadow. If anyone else is interested in sharing their gameplays for different analysis, we'll reach out again probably.
And we should have a link in the description this time to the Discord, where you can ping us or DM us, or I guess not DM, you can ping us, and we should be able to respond pretty promptly. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you have thoughts or if you are interested or anything like that, please leave a comment, and we'll see you in the next video.